Anyone saw that movie Avatar? That wasn't filmed here. So the district we're going to be entering is the district referred to as Ka'ava. You can see the school sign on the left hand side as you get further up. And the word A'ava is the Hawaiian name for what you might refer to as the milk-bone fish. Some also called the black wrasse fish. It was also once farmed along the shoreline area of the early Hawaiians. To our left, it has that pineapple-looking fruit in it. Yeah, a lot of visitors mistake that for the pineapple tree. Kind of resembles it. We call it hala, H-A-L-A, and you might know them better as the pandanus or the screw pine. So the leaves of those trees is what was commonly used for weaving by the early Hawaiians. That's what they would use to weave their mats for their homes, the sails for the canoes. And then the male species of those trees, they produce those fruits that resembles pineapples. Of course, when visitors see those trees for the first time, they start to believe that pineapples grow on trees. All of you do know, right, that pineapples do not grow on trees. Yeah, they grow off of a plant off of the ground. But it was from those trees on how we derive with the Hawaiian name for the pineapple. Second family, the pineapples are not a native fruit. They were introduced to the islands. So the Hawaiian name for the pineapples are called hala kahiki. Can everyone try that? Hala kahiki. The word hala taken from those trees, and then the word kahiki in English meaning a foreign place. So again, a fruit from a foreign place, or hala kahiki, the Hawaiian name for the pineapple. The milk-bone fish. As I mentioned earlier, this is why the early Hawaiians they built their fish ponds along the shoreline area. Not only for the use of the ocean's water, but mainly the use of the fresh water that came down from the mountain streams. That's why they would often divert their streams in their fish ponds. And then this way they would have a mixture of salt water and fresh water, which became brackish. And in this type of water, they were able to farm some of their favorite fishes, like the ama, or what you might refer to as the mullets, the a'ava, the milk-bone fish. And then one of the fishes was also farmed by the early Hawaiians, endemic to the Hawaiian Islands, is a fish called a hole. It was also given an American name, which is called the Hawaiian flagtail fish. Remember that valley that we just went by further back? The Waihole Valley? Mentioned the freshwater for the hole fish. You know, these fishermen who tend the fish ponds, they were called konohikis. And they were the head of the fish ponds. And they would have to make sure that there was a large supply of this hole fish, because this is what was used to pay the high chief as taxes for the shoreline area that was loaned to them to construct their fish ponds. Remember this earlier I mentioned the early Hawaiians, they had no currency, they had no money because nothing was sold. Everything was traded. The farmers would trade up with the fishermen, and the fishermen did the same with the farmers. That was their lifestyle. That's why they had no use of or knowledge of the battlefield right now. It is called moku. M-O-K-U. Moku. It's the wine for island. And what the king did was divided the moku, or the island, into what is called ahupua'a. So now the ahupua'a is like a wedge-shaped land parcel. And he did it in a way that you cut a pie. So I'm not sure if you want to notice the signs along the highway, but we have these signs along the highway that has a picture of a pile of rocks in a wedge shape. You want to notice those signs? We're going to pass one very shortly again. It's coming off to the left. This sign I've already faded over the years. But there's a pile of rocks in a wedge form. Under that pile of rocks, you're going to see the word Aopua'a. Right there, that's right there. Anyone notice these signs? And then under the word Aopua'a is the name of that Aopua'a. So again, he did it in a way you cut a pie. So now, if you were to take a pie and slice it up in 4 pieces, that's when I'm not hungry. Or 8 pieces, now I have to share the pie. Or even 16 or 32 pieces, is the same way the king divided the island. Using the deep valleys as borders, these mountain ridges that stuck out from the mountain range, like this one here to the left front, one across there in front of us, as borders, and then a coral reef as borders. So again, if you look out to the right, you can see where the waves are breaking out there, down there. That is where the coral reef ends. That's where the waves are breaking out there. But that's where the coral reef ends. So that was also using the border. So a fine example of what was called in Apua, again, would be that Haiku Valley, where they built that the Interstate 83 Freeway, the Waihole Valley, Waikane Valley, Ka'awa Valley. So the next one that we're going to go by is the Kahana Apua. And the word Kahana simply means to draw a line. So here it is. Right on this bend. This would be a fine example of what was called in Apua. It is. So there off to the left, this ridge, off to the right, that ridge, deep in the valley, and the coral reef. If you look off to the right front of the shoreline, you see that rock wall right at the edge. That is the ruins of an old fish pond. Because in these big Apuas, there was always a stream or river that came down that valley. That stream was used to irrigate the taro patches, sweet potato patches. That was all the way back to the streams, came off the shoreline, and right to the fish ponds. So right in this open area, look here to the right, and I have to look real quick. Right here, to the right, in the fish pond. You see some kids out there maintaining the fish pond. So the stream that came down went right to the fish pond. Deep in the valley area, those areas are called Uka, UK. That's where they grew a lot of the big trees. They were used for building material, for canoe making. Up to the left, winds would not blow the fruits off of the trees. They came down to the flat area where they had the taro patches, potato patches. And here in this valley is also where we house another one of our freshwater reservoirs. And this is also what we call one of our natural watershed. And if you had a bird's eye view of this valley right up to our left, you'd actually see how huge this valley actually is. Has anyone heard of a lava tube or ever saw a lava tube? Well, if you haven't, if you go to the Big Island and you get a chance to walk through some of these lava tubes, and we got lava tubes here large enough that man can actually walk through. In fact, we have lava tubes here large enough you can drive this bus through. Okay? But these lava tubes, they run from the base of the volcanic structure in mountains up towards the shoreline, underground, of course. Isn't it pretty good? Okay. There are three vital elements of nature that helps us with our fresh water supply here. One, which is the persistent prevailing of our trade winds that we do receive in the islands. Second are the bulwarks of the walls of our mountain ranges. And third are the coastal cap rocks that fringes all the shorelines of all of our beaches. These are the three vital elements of nature that helps with our fresh water supply. You see, and they all relate back to the gods. As I mentioned, the god Kanaloa, one of the four major gods, was the protector of the ocean and the ocean's depth. The god Kane, the protector of fresh water and sunlight. So again, when the sun shines over the ocean, it creates evaporation, right? And then they start to form these moisture-laden clouds. So now these moisture-laden clouds are driven to high elevations by our trade winds. So now when it reaches as high as peak over the mountain range, they become trapped by these high mountain peaks. So this is where the air becomes cooler or thinner, and so condensation occurs, and then rain falls in heavy amount in our mountain ranges. Portion of that rainwater seeps and percolates through the layers of lava rock that makes our mountain range, and then it ends up in our reservoirs, which are located well over 500 to 600 feet underground. Through artesian wells, they would drill, pump the water out through the board of water supply, and they would distribute to our facilities. And then another portion of our water supply comes from our water dikes in these mountain ranges. And these water dikes are also referred to as complexed water dikes. And they run throughout the entire mountains area. I know it hasn't been raining much for the past couple of months already. But has anyone seen a waterfall up in the mountain range? Yeah, apparently it hasn't been raining enough to create these waterfalls. But when it rains really heavy up in these mountain ranges, between each and every ridge, you will find a waterfall, and sometimes, in fact, a lot of times, we get dozens of waterfalls cascading from the mountains. So what those waterfalls actually are, they are overflowed water dikes what they have done was they set up these water catchments. So the base of these water dikes, drilling through them, pumping the water out through the Board of Water Supply, and again, they would distribute to our facilities. And then another portion of our water supply comes from our coastal cap rocks that fringes all the shorelines of all of our beaches. And these cap rocks are also referred to as basal lens. They are porous, so they somewhat react like a sponge. So now for some of that rainwater that falls up in the mountain range and seeps into the earth, some of it gets into our lava tubes. Remember how I mentioned how these lava tubes, they're up at the base of the volcanic structure, mountain range out to the shoreline? Well, some of that rainwater gets to the lava tubes, drawn out to the shoreline, and then captured by these basal lens. So again, what they would do, they would drill through these basal lens, pumping the water out through the Board of Water Supply, and again, they would distribute it. So as I mentioned, the Board of Water Supply, these are the people who maintain our fresh water, who is run under the jurisdiction of the city and county and the Department of Land and Natural Resources. So again, I ask, since all of you have been here, did anyone try our water? Yeah. Wasn't that pretty good?
Yeah.
See, now as far as filtering our water supply, it goes to two stages. The first stage is what they refer to as the natural stage. Again, because of the lava rock that makes our mountain range is porous. It also serves as a very good filter. So as this rainwater seeps and percolates through the lava rock, by the time it reaches the reservoirs, it has already gone through its first stage of filtering. So again, it's done naturally. Then as it passes to the pumping station, they would filter the water once again, and then they would add the needed chemicals. And now again, there's not very much chemicals added to our water supply because you won't find very much minerals in it. You know, the only areas that they have to have more chemicals to help purify it is out in the agricultural land areas, in our old sugarcane fields and pineapple fields, because apparently over the years, they were spraying pesticides over those fields, which then eventually seep into the earth and it's gone to our reservoirs. But those are some of the areas that they have to have more chemicals to help purify it. We're one of the few states, who does not add any fluoride to our water supply and a very minimum of chlorine added to our water supply. One of the few states. So if you haven't tasted our water, or maybe you're too afraid to, while you're here, especially here in this island, don't be afraid to drink our fresh water. One of our best natural resources. And we pump millions and millions of gallons of fresh water out of these mountain ranges every day. But of course, you know, we have a saying, the local people anyway, to our visitors while you're visiting, drink the beer, save the water. Now, of course, we don't like that heavy rainfall. Yeah, because when we get that heavy rainfall, all we get is runoff. So when it rains, we really appreciate our rainfall because it helps us replenish our water supply. But again, these are just some of the different ways that we do it in our fresh water supply. Quickly, I mean, I've already shown you can see how they place these rock bags to help slow down the erosion. An inch, 2 inches a year. This is just rock bags here to the right. So now the district we're now entering is referred to as Haula. And the word Haula represents a red haubush, which this community was once filled with. And this haubush is also part of the hibiscus family. So now would anyone know the name of our state flower? Come on, people, are you up? Just give you the answer. The hibiscus. Yeah, the hibiscus is our state flower. Any particular color? No, not the red. They're yellow. And it's a yellow without the red in the center. You know what we see a lot of today is actually the hybrid of this hibiscus. And that's why you'll see them in a variety of colors, shapes, and sizes. Our state flower actually comes from the haula bush. Okay? It's a much smaller flower than what is presented as our state flower. So the left-hand side, and I might not be able to point it out because I'm going to be talking about the cultures in it a little bit. Sometimes there's a monk seal that comes up to shore here, right up to the right. about here today, right on this beach. Whenever it's all taped off, I really like the mugshots from on the beach. The screw part of the bandanas. They use that, the dry leaves for breathing. So you're going to see some of the crafts in the Hawaiian village. View up. Because we are nearing the cultural center. And I'm going to have to explain everything to you once again that I shared with you earlier. Only because they have been recording me the entire time. But they just want me to make sure that I'm persuading the culture center to look at this video. To make sure that I'm giving you this still speaking. Try this again. Want to say bus number? You're going to say bus number?
1.
Just want to make sure that you remember your bus number. From the cultural center, all you need to do is follow that yellow hibiscus trail, and it's going to take you towards the entrance to the villages.